Hi guys, welcome to our channel, or welcome back to our channel. My name is Celeste, and I'm on my way home. I'm driving, and I'm like, let me just tell you guys a little story time. Like, I was just talking to Shi'Anne. We was talking about guys and relationships and stuff, and I'm like, well, let me tell you guys when I got cheated on by my first boyfriend with my best friend. Like, that is something that would happen to me. But anyways, okay, so go back to let me give you a little background about myself. Growing up, I was like a little boy. I feel like I was playing outside. I didn't care about getting dirty. I would play outside all day. Me and my brother had the same friends, like stuff like that. And I never worried about guys or anything. All of my friends would have crushes on guys and stuff, but I never even had experience talking to a guy in that way until I moved to South Carolina in the 8th grade. So that's just a background on myself. So all this was so new to me. I didn't really know how to respond to it. But okay, so in the 8th grade, I moved to South Carolina, and I started school. So I'm gonna just get right into the video. I was in school. I was in the 8th grade, and I had never really moved at the age that I was. Every time I would move, I was younger. So when you're younger, it's easier for you to make friends because you don't really gotta have nothing in common with them. It's just you play outside with them, they're automatically your friend. You got the same toy as them, they're your friend. It's like that. But when you're older, especially when you're older and you're a girl, I feel like it's just harder to make friends. So I was in the 8th grade, and my school was set up to where in the morning, if you would get to school before the 8:30 bell to homeroom, you would go to the gym, and all the grades would sit in the gym, but it was separated 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. So the first day, I was in the gym. I was waiting. I was crying because I had to leave my brother. She separated me and my brother. I was nervous. I was oh my gosh, I need to go home. I need to start a different day. But so I was in the gym waiting. So when they called me, when the bell rang, I went to my homeroom. I was double nervous, double checking with my teacher, I'm supposed to be in this room, right? Because even to this day, one of my fears when it comes to starting school is them calling roll and they don't call my name. I feel that makes me so nervous. But so I got in there. I was double checking with my teacher, my name is Celeste, I'm supposed to be in this class, right? And she said yeah. So I sat down and I saw this girl. I'm gonna call the girl Danielle. So I saw Danielle, and I saw her with her two little friends. Is it right? I saw her with her two friends, and in my head, I never really had to make friends. So I'm thinking, I look at her, I'm that's gonna be my friend. I'm gonna try to be her friend. So after class, I went up to her. I was can I sit with you guys at lunch and stuff? And she's looking at me yeah, I guess. So I ended up sitting with them at lunch, and this is all the first day of school. So then after lunch, I had a history class, and there was this guy in there. I'm gonna call the guy Jacob. Jacob was in there, and he kept looking at me and stuff, and my 13-year-old self was what is he looking at? Still in my little mode, don't look at me like that. I'm one of the guys type of, that's my mindset. Don't look at me any type of way, because I could be your guy friend. That's how I still acted. That was still my mentality. So he kept looking at me. A couple days go by, and he's he'll say little things to me here and there, he'll come up to me in class and say like, hey, or what's up, or in the morning when we was all, oh shoot, my earring fell out. In the morning when we was in the gym, he would come and sit next to me. I remember this one time he came and sat next to me, and he was like, I wasn't really saying anything. I don't know what he wanted me to say, but I just remember him being like, you're making it very hard for me to get to know you. And I was like, and I do have my seatbelt on, by the way. I just wear like that. But he was like, you're making it very hard for me to get to know you. And I remember that broke my little heart. I was like, really? Like, because I was starting, not like I liked him, but like I liked the attention he was giving me. It was so new to me. I liked it. So then I'm still hanging out with Danielle and her friends, and she ends up, their friends come up to me in math class, I think it was, and they're like, oh, do you like Jacob? And I'm like, no, like, I don't know. And they're like, because Danielle likes him or something like that. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't really owe no loyalty to this girl because we just met 3 days ago. And although I, like, in my head at the time, that's how I was thinking. Even though like I'm talking here and there, she's acting like she don't really mess with me in the first place. So, and it's not like I'm dating him. It's just so happens that she likes him, but he likes me, and I kind of like him a little bit, I guess. So a couple days goes by, and I'm hanging out with this girl. To be honest, I don't know how me and this girl met or became friends, but her name was Kendall. And she came over my house the weekend of this first weekend after school started, and she was like, oh, you live in this neighborhood? Because Jacob lives right down the street. And I'm like, you're lying, like, he cannot live down the street from me. And she's like, yeah. And she shows me his house and everything, and I'm like, okay, like, this is weird. So then she takes it upon herself to text him that day, and she was like, my friend likes you. And then he was like, feeling himself like, oh, a lot of girls like me. And she was like, well, do you want to know who it is? And he was like, sure, or whatever. And then she says my name, and he's like, let me get my number, let me get her number, talking about me. And mind you, this is still the first week school has started. This is just the week, and I've talked to this kid 3 times, and I've only seen him ever in my life for a week. And he texts me, and we're talking a little bit. He's like, what's your favorite color and stuff? I'm like, purple. And I'm like, oh, what's your birthday? And he's like, November 12th. And I'm like, really? My birthday is November 12th too. So I remember us just like instantly like being like, wow, that's crazy, we have the same birthday. And then he's like, so do you want to be my girlfriend or something? And I'm like, I've never had anyone ask me my boyfriend at that point, so I'm like, okay, like, sure. So time goes on. The day on Monday, it was so awkward because he just came up to me and he just like hugged me, and everyone was looking around like, what? And I'm like, what myself? Like, this is such like a weird, I've known him for a week, I've talked to him like 3 times in my life, and now he's my boyfriend. But I mean, I guess so. This was August, so time went on, and it's now October, and it's October, and it's the day before Halloween, and he got his phone taken away. I don't remember what happened, but he got his phone taken away. And I just remember scrolling down on Instagram, and this was before direct messages came out on there, and he was talking to Danielle, and he was like, how no girl at the school gets me, and like he's better off by himself and stuff. And I was like, what do you mean you're better off by yourself? Like, you got a whole girlfriend, and you're really out here talking to the girl you know likes you, the girl that's my friend, and telling her no girl at this school is right for you, or nobody understands you. Because if nobody understands you, why are you with me? Honestly. So I'm getting mad, and I go under one of my pictures, and I write a message like, if no girl understands you at the school, you got no business being with me, so that's it, we're done. And I tagged him in it. And he's like, you know, guys, they were like, oh, I didn't mean it like that, like, that's not what I meant. And I'm like, no, I'm done. So the next day comes, it's Halloween. I got my costume ready. Me and Kendall are gonna be matching our costumes. I think we were like nerds or something. Like, we was cute that day. And he has on his little sad face, and we was in history class, and he came up to me, his friend came up to me and was like, oh, you know, Jacob was in the bathroom crying today because he just misses you, he didn't mean what he said, all this stuff, trying to make excuses for him. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, would you ever get back with him? And I'm like, I don't know. First of all, that should have been my first hint or sign or whatever. I should have just left it at that. But you know me, I was like, I don't know. And then next thing you know, I'm at my locker after class. I'm opening it up, putting in my little combination, and this kid comes up behind me and he hugs on me and he's like, can you be mine again? And of course I'm like, sure. I seem to be saying sure a lot. Every time I say sure in this story, something messed up happens. So I say sure, we're back together. Stuff is on and off with us, like, but just know, during the period that I was with him, he had my mind all the way messed up. And one of the things that always happened to me was I would get these crazy migraines. Like, it was bad, and I would just want to go home, and I would just want to sleep. Like, I wanted the fan on, the lights off, like I wanted complete darkness. I just wanted to sleep there. And I play soccer, so we used to, first of all, at this point, it was later in the year, so much, we're on and off all the time, and I skip practice sometimes, like, and sometimes I just want to go home, I just want to go to sleep. So we used to walk to the field together when I did go to practice, because he ran track, so he ran track and I played soccer. The track is around the soccer field, so we would walk together. But this day, it was one of those days, and I called my mom, and I just wanted to go home. So it was just one of those days, and I just wanted to go home. So I remember, and at this point in our relationship, we've been on and off so much, and he was very distant. Like, he would walk past me in the hallways, walking with Danielle, and like, he wouldn't say nothing to me. It was like, you wouldn't think we were together if you seen us at school, but we would be texting and stuff after, like, going on walks outside or stuff, like, after school. So this day was just one of those days, and I just wanted to go home after school. I didn't want to go to practice. So I remember being in the car rider lane, and I see him, because remember, me and him used to walk to practice together, but I see him, and he's walking with Danielle to practice, because she ran track too. So that automatically gets me mad, because I'm I'm not feeling good today, and you're really here, like, with the girl you know likes you. Because like, me and Danielle had a very weird, like, friendship. It was like she would tell me, like, oh, I was texting what's his name, Jacob last night, and I was telling him how he loves me, how I love him, and he was just like, oh, you know, I can't say it back. Like, not saying it back, but still entertaining it. Like, he knows how she felt about him. And she would come to me, and she would tell me this stuff, and we would end up in, like, the guidance counselor or something, like, and we would, like, work it out or something. Like, it was such a weird friendship. Like, the way I acted then would not be the way I would have responded now. But anyways, I see, and I'm in the car rider line with my mom, and I see them walking together, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So I get home, and after practice, he texts me, and he's being very weird. Like, he's like, I'm sorry I've been so distant, like, I love you, all this stuff. And I'm like, it's okay, like, I forgive you and stuff. I'm sorry too for what I was sorry for. I don't know, but I just thought I should say it back. So I'm thinking we're good. And the next day I show up to school, like, I'm in a good mood, like, yeah, I got my boyfriend back, he's acting right now. And Danielle is being very weird to me. Like, I'm trying to talk to her and she's like being weird. So I had this other friend. I was with my friend Freyanna, and I was with my friend Julia. And Julia was a friend. We were all friends. So Danielle was acting weird, but we were all friends. So me, Freyanna, and Julia was all friends with Danielle. So I'm bleeding. I just picked something, so just ignore that. If I start bleeding out, just act like it's not happening. But okay, so I'm sitting down and I'm thinking everything's cool, even though Danielle's acting weird. And I see Danielle whispering to Julia, and she's showing her something on his phone. So you know me, I'm kind of nosy sometimes, and I was looking at the corner of my eye like that, looking at her phone, and I see Jacob's name on there. So I wait for Danielle to leave, and I'm like, Julia, what was that? Like, I know she was texting Jacob last night when Jacob was telling me how he's sorry, and he's sorry for being distant and all that stuff. So he was texting her last night. So I'm like, what's going on? Like, just say it. And she's like, she didn't want to tell me at first. And I'm like, just say it. And she's like, okay. So she goes and says, well, Jacob isn't cheating on you, but yesterday, before track practice, Jacob and Danielle made out in the bathroom in the high school. And when I tell you, my mind was like, she did what? But like, at that time, I feel like I was really a pushover. Like, confrontation really like made me uncomfortable. So once again, the way I reacted then would not have been how I reacted now, but I just didn't know what to think or what to do. Like, what do you mean because it's one thing in my head, it's one thing if he's just flirting with girls because he was a flirt, like, always in some girl's face. But it's another thing, he full on made out with her in the bathroom in the high school. Like, they could have went in the locker room or something. They had to do it in the women's bathroom. Like, I was like, so much was going on in my head. And I start crying my eyes out, and he's looking around like what happened? And I'm like, you know what happened. I got Freyanna on one side, going to Danielle and pushing her into the lockers, telling her, why would you do that? I got Julia going up to Jacob, like, why are you doing that? Like, you're disgusting. Like, I'm going to my friend Abby, I'm hugging her, she's holding me, I'm crying my eyes out, like, so much is going on. And then Danielle, I almost said it, had the nerve to start crying like she's the one who got cheated on, and she runs away. So I go up to her and I'm like, why would you do that? And she runs away to the guidance counselor or whatever she went. And so the days going by, I remember my history teacher, I used to be so scared of her. Everyone was so scared of her. There would be people who would purposely go to the nurse during her class every day because she was just so mean. But that one day she came up to me, she was like, what's wrong? And she's like, she hugged me, and she was like, how he's not a good guy. She's not really your friend if they're doing that to you, right? Like, really, like, reasoning with me. And I'm like, you're right. What was her name? I think it was like Miss Dunning or something. I was like, you're so right, Miss Dunning. So I remember in her class, she used to pick on people to answer questions. And I'm the type of person, if I don't raise my hand, I don't know. Like, if I know the answer, I'll raise my hand and I'll answer it. But if I don't, that just means I don't know the answer. And I will you'll call on me, but I will just look at you because I don't know, obviously, and you're calling on me. I didn't raise my hand, so I don't know what you want me to do. So during her class, she liked to pick on people who's not raising their hand. But that day, she had my back. She knew what I went through, and she didn't call on me because she knew. I just had my head down that whole class. But so I ended up going. Danielle was all in her feelings that day, crying. For what reason, I don't know why, because she did it. But I was like all loud in class, like, she don't got a reason to be crying because she did this to me. I should be the one crying. I got all these guys coming out of nowhere trying to be in my face, like, comforting me. I'm like, do you think right now is the time to be acting like this? Like, everyone get out of my face. I don't want to talk to anybody. Freyanna completely cut her off. I remember she told me in math class, like, she moved seats. She used to sit next to Danielle, and she moved seats. They sat in the front. Freyanna moved seats all the way to the back. And after that day, I'm like, let me go to soccer practice because I've been skipping. So I went to soccer practice, and I get a text after practice, and I'm like, Abby, look at this text, because Abby was on my soccer team too. I'm like, look at this text, and it's Jacob, and he's like, I know this is probably a dumb question, but are we still together? And my dumb little 13-year-old self really had the nerve to be like, do you want to be? Like, what do you mean, do you want to be? I should have been like, obviously we're not together. Like, are you dumb? No, we're not together. That's it. So, first of all, you embarrassed me in front of everyone. Knows what happened. You embarrassed me, and now if I go back to you, I look even crazier because everyone knows you cheated on me, and now I'm staying with you. Like, and I was like, do you want to be? And he was like, I mean, yeah. And I was like, okay, so then we are. And I looked so crazy. Like, I cut her off completely, but I was still with him. Like, first of all, yes, she was my friend, but now I feel like never go for the girl, because at the end of the day, I knew how she was, and I don't owe no type of loyalty. She don't owe no type of loyalty to me, because she wasn't really my friend to be my friend. She was my friend to get closer to him. Because even during one of our separations, they dated for like 2 days. Like, she was just my friend, I feel like, to get closer to him. So she ain't owe no type of loyalty to me, but he owed that to me, I feel like, as a boyfriend. And, like, for me to cut her off and not him off is, like, messed up. And, like, I don't know where my head was, but that's what ended up happening. And so yeah, we stayed together. We ended up being on and off for the whole school year, but it wasn't like, I broke up with him every single time except the last time. I think he wrote a note and he put it in my book bag, or he tried to. He put the wrong thing in my book bag. It ended up being his report card or something. And I remember him texting me and being like, like, check your book bag. And I was like, okay. And then I look in there, and it's his report card, and I'm like, oh wow, you got good grades, because that kid is smart. He would always get straight A's and stuff. And he was like, he sent me a picture of what he actually meant to put in there. It was a note that he wrote to me, and it was just saying how he's moving away, and he can't love me the way he wants to love me from a distance, stuff like that. And I was like, are you serious? All the stuff I took you back for, and you got the nerve to break up with me? But I was like, okay. So we stopped being together. But that summer, going into my freshman year, he texted me again trying to get back with me, but I was like, no. I was talking to somebody that was in high school at that time, and he was like, okay. So then for some reason, one day I was in Puerto Rico. It was like 2 days before school was supposed to start. And I texted Jacob and I was like, I stopped talking to the guy for you. Like, I want to be with you now. And he wasn't having it for some odd reason. Like, why wouldn't he want to be with me anymore? I don't know. But, so basically, the moral of what I'm trying to say, I didn't learn my lesson until, like, sophomore year when I got an actual boyfriend. Like, he still had me wrapped around his finger. Like, I was messed up in the head. And I think it's even sadder, more sad. Is sadder a word? I don't know. But I think it was more sad that, because when let me give you guys some advice right now. When you should never feel like you need to be with somebody, whether that's a friendship or a relationship, anything. You should never feel like you need that person to be happy. And I feel like that was my problem. Yes, it was my first boyfriend. Sorry, Shai just called me. But what was I even saying? Basically, my problem at the time was I felt like I needed Jacob to be happy. That's why I wasn't happy because when you have expectations for someone, it's easy because they're human and he was young, and now I'm making excuses for him. I cannot. Oh, okay. Forget it. Not making excuses for him, but like when you have expectations for someone, it's easy to get let down. If you go through it not expecting anything from them, just taking it day by day, I feel like if they end up doing something that normally, like if you're expecting them to do something or act a certain way, when they don't do it, you get upset. But when you're not expecting anything from anyone, there's no being hurt that they didn't do something because you didn't expect them to do it. So when you feel like you need someone to be happy, when you don't have that person, or when that person is like acting crazy, when they're not acting right, then it hurts more, because you're like, I need you for my own happiness, and you're like not there for me. So I don't have happiness if you're not there, because you're my happiness, and that's not how it should be. So honestly, I feel like I learned a lot from that relationship. But also, I wouldn't let like stuff like that change. I wouldn't bring that onto another relationship. I feel like that makes it, you're never gonna end up happy. Like, I did that. After that, it's like I'm not trusting no guy that tries to talk to me, because you're gonna do me how he did me. When that's not every guy's intention. It made me feel better, first of all, because Jacob never grew up. I don't know about now, but he's still the same way he was when he was 13. Like, from the last time I have seen him or heard from him. But yeah, after we got into high school, we didn't talk. I tried to, in high school even, I dated his friend for 4 days to try to get at him, but he didn't really care. And then I broke up with his friend because I didn't like his friend. I was just doing it just to do it. And are they broken down? Then he was trying to tell me I was a messed up person and stuff, which that, on my part, honestly, that was messed up. But again, I didn't learn my lesson until sophomore year. That's freshman year. So I mean, I'm admitting it. I'll admit to me being messed up and not learning my lesson. But yeah, guys, that's my story. Let me know if you like my story times. Let me and Shai know. Comment down below what you guys like to see. I like story times. It's like I'm talking to you guys. So yeah. That's it. Please like and please subscribe. We be getting more viewers than we get subscribers, so I'm gonna need you guys If you watch the video, you like the video, subscribe to us, comment, like do all that. So yeah, thank you. I'll see you guys next video.